Well, hello, my beautiful Cappies. Wow, Capricorn, I have not been in your energy in so long. So, um, welcome back. If you haven't seen me in a while, I just started back on YouTube. My goal, as you guys are goal oriented, my goal this year is to do full time on YouTube again. So, today we're going to talk about the full moon. I'm going to do a little bit of astrology, and then I've pulled some cards. It's a four-card pull. So what we're going to talk about the new moon, and of course a little bit of the Pluto, because you guys just went through the whole 15, 16 years in Pluto, and now it's moved into my sign, Aquarius. So I'm asking you to be gentle with us, Aquarians, because you guys have been through it. You guys have one more round with Pluto coming back in, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindi. I am at Simply Cindi. I am a medium. I haven't done mediumship on here in a while. I haven't done anything hardly. So I'm kind of getting back slowly to doing that. But let's talk about you guys. So right here we have Pluto. Oh, sorry. I got to get my stuff together here. Again, I haven't done this in a while. So Pluto is a big transition that's been going on in your sign, Capricorn, in the last 15, 16 years. And now it's moved into Aquarius, which we saw what Pluto did. Pluto's a generational planet. We saw what it did. It tore down structures because you guys with Saturn are all about structure. So it tore down structures. It's not done yet. But you guys are going to have it in your second house. So for those of you that are Capricorn ascending, even you can do Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, but I usually speak through the ascending because the ascending is your physicalness, the bodiness, the wholeness of you. That's your first house. But if it's in your sun, it'll show things to you. And if it's your moon, you'll feel things, if that makes sense. It's the way you see the things. So you can kind of take it from that perspective. But what I'm saying is with Pluto here, I'm doing a Pluto series, and I channeled for 2 weeks, and I wanted to know not only because I see past lives, future lives, present lives, and I do hypnosis, so I can take you to past life, present life, future lives. But I wanted to know what the trauma is in these houses. Not just that, I wanted to know how to get through them. How do we get forward? How do we move forward? How do we let go of this baggage, this trauma, these obsessions, these fears, all of that? I wanted to know step by step. So I'm doing the Pluto series now. I had to get out of that for a little bit because there's a lot of trauma in there. So having to like relive that stuff or feel that stuff, I needed a break. So I decided to do the new moon. But you have the new moon in your second house. So the second house is about your resourcefulness, about your value, about how you make. It's not just how you make your money, but it's what you feel like you. Well, it's about the resources, and then what you come to understand with Pluto there is your resourcefulness. Okay, so you've got a 20-year. You guys have not had it easy, and if you don't know me, if you know me, you know that I was married to a Capricorn for 20 years till he crossed over. So I know all about Cappies and how hard they work, and I know that energy. I would never know you, but you know what I mean. I'm the closest. I mean, I kind of understand. But you guys have not, and he passed in that Capricorn in that Pluto cycle. I'm not saying y'all are. I'm just saying, I had to. My structures were torn down, but you guys have not had it easy. You had because I'm an Aquarius ascending, so Pluto's in my 12th house, but it's going to go into my first, an identity crisis. So you guys have been through this already in the last 15 years, 16 years. But then Pluto's moving into your second house where it's about your resourcefulness. It's about your value to you. It's about like you place value on the physical stuff, and how do I say this? You place value on the physical things around you and you know how to get those things in a physical way. But we're talking about Aquarius and we're talking about Pluto. So not only are you carrying the baggage from your ancestors, your past lives, your present life, your future life, your childhood, whatever you want to call that, but you're having to like work through that trauma in the second house. So you, um, Capricorn ascending, are really working on that from other lifetimes. There's if it's transiting, it's a different thing than if you were born with it in your second house. Okay. And you have to watch my Pluto. What you want to do is you want to go to your natal chart. You can get that on astro.com. I have my own software, but you can get that on astro.com. And it's for free. And you just plug in your numbers and you want to look at where this is Pluto, where Pluto is in your chart. That's your natal chart. And the way I explain the natal chart is it's like the universe took a picture right at the moment you were born and of the planets and the stars and everything where it's at in where you're at. And so it took the picture and then it says, here you go, here's your roadmap. These are the themes that will be going on in your life. These are things that can come up and you can choose. You can choose to look at them. You can choose not to look at them. And I will tell you, after channeling, I know that Pluto is not a planet, or it's not a trauma planet that you can heal in one lifetime. So you've probably been doing this for a while. And if it's transiting, which means you weren't born with it out there, but it's moving there now, that means you're about to finish this cycle with Pluto for this particular thing. And for y'all, it's about resourcefulness. For y'all, it's about the value that you place on yourself. For y'all, it's about how you do things in this world. But you'll have to watch the video for your second house in Pluto, in my Pluto series. And I think that one's up. So anyway, back to this new moon. What I'm getting with you guys, because you're so grounded and you are about the physical things around you and you are about restructuring or taking down the structure, but now you're going to be restructuring. But you need to understand that it's not going to be restructured in the Capricornian way. It is Aquarius. It is Aquarius way. That means it's very forward thinking. It's out of the box. And you guys aren't opposed to that. You can do out of the box. But your natural inclination is to do, let me give you an example. If I want more money to get a house and I only make this much money, then I'm going to get 2 other jobs to be able to put the money in the bank to then get my credit score up, to then get the loan, like you're very practical in this, but that's in the Capricornian way. This is Aquarius. This is out of the box thinking. This is very different. This is your values being challenged to understand a different way for you. Because a lot of you know, and tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of you know to do something or to get something, you have to do double, triple, quadruple the work. But you're at a point after Pluto's been in there to say, I don't necessarily want to do it this way. I want to do it the Piscean way where it just manifests out of nowhere. I want to do it a simpler, easier way. Simple is different than easy. I want to do it an easier way. I want to do it a simpler way. I want to do it a different way, right? And so now that Pluto's moving into there, and trust me, this is all coming together. Bear with me. This is all coming together, so bear with me. Now that it's Pluto moving into that part of your area of your life, that part of your house, and then you have the new moon. So you have to, because Pluto is a big cycle, we just had the sun here in Pluto. We're now having the Mercury here in Pluto on the 9th, which is when the new moon. This is all new beginnings for you of restructuring what broke down, what was decimated in the last 15, 16 years for you. Okay, so these are important. This is the start of a cycle for you. This new moon is the start of a cycle for you to do it in a different way, to do it out of the box, and you should be getting whatever word you get, whatever clarity you might get in your head or clarity you might see around you, that's the beginning of a cycle for you because you just finished up with your identity. You just finished up with understanding who you were, are going to be, right? Like you don't understand all of it, but you came to a clarity about it in these last 15, 16 years. And if you haven't, we have one more cycle. We have Pluto is going to go back into Capricorn in September, I think. I think earlier I said no, June, but it's September. And then it's going to go back to Aquarius. So it's going to retrograde one more time into Capricorn energy because it's finishing up all the decimation, all the restructure, all the tearing down, and this is global, this is community, this is humanity, this is countries, and this is you personally. Okay. So you have one more retrograde, and then by November, I think it's November 17th, no 19th, somewhere through there. By November, it's going to go back into Aquarius. But right now is the time, since it's in Aquarius, it's going to give you a big indication of how and what and the way. It's going to give you hints as to what's going to be going on past November 17th, what you're actually working on, what's going to be opening up to you. So it's doing these cycles. So pay attention. It had the sun there. So Pluto was showing you with the sun what's possible, what's going to be coming up, what lessons you're going to have, how you want to grow, all of that with your resourcefulness, with the way that you make your money, with the value that you place on yourself. Because a lot of you have that problem. I'm hoping that through the 16 years that it just Pluto cycled here, that you got a better idea of the identity you're trying to become more of. And that means valuing you. That means understanding that you are very valuable in your place in this world, right? And so Mercury being there, so whatever planet's coming close to that, because eventually Mars is going to come next to Pluto, and Venus is going to come close to Pluto. So pay attention when those happen, when they conjunct. We're calling them conjunct. When they conjunct, because that means it's giving you clues, because then we're going back to Capricorn, to your sign. Then in November, it's all speed ahead. It's full speed ahead. And it's going to stay in Aquarius for 20 years. The reason I'm bringing this up is because of this new moon. This is giving you an opportunity. It's like the universe, your higher self, God, source, whatever you call that energy, is saying, this is your time to direct your life. This is your time. And this new moon, because we're starting cycles, you're starting like 5 cycles in this second house. This is important for you. And you just went through this identity crisis and, putting things out there and things falling down and not working out and being destitute and all of that. And it was hard on you. It's very hard. And we're going to go through the same thing. That's why I said, please be kind to us. But you have gifts coming. You have gifts coming by this right here. But this new moon in Aquarius, I want you to think out of the box. So when you do your manifestations or your focus for manifestations, right? Because you're a Capricorn, you may want a ritual, I don't know, but this is when new moons are about sort of directing the energy for our life to be able to bring about what it is that we want, to head in that direction. Okay. Now, will you see some things come up in the next couple of months? Sure. Because this new moon cycle is usually manifest stuff for about the first 2-3 months, right? And then it's time to do it again, right? So it's like step by step by step. You guys like steps. So, but because it's Aquarian, what I don't want you to do is try to control exactly, because that's the way that you guys, I'll never know how you exactly think, but this is kind of how you think, is like, okay, here's step 1, step 2, step 3, and that's going to get me to the result, right? That's not how this is going to work in Aquarius. because it's Aquarius. Aquarius is like the master of time. So what can normally take 10 years can take 2 minutes. Aquarius can jump, and Aquarius comes from all angles, and Aquarius thinks out of the box. So this isn't a step one, step two, step three thing. It's not that it can't be, it's like don't hold on to that. So when you're focusing on your value or how you make your money or the things that you want around you, I don't want you to focus on how do I do it. I want you to focus on the thing. Okay, so just, and you can even leave it open, more open than that, and say, I'd like to have whatever, ABC, but don't think about the steps, because think about, I deserve that. I'm valuable enough. I make a difference in this world. It may be a very, very tiny difference that you see, but other people around you may see somebody that's an expert, that knows what they're talking about, that can get what they want. But you may see, well, I maybe matter a little bit. Like, that's what I want you to hold on to. It's your value that's being questioned here in the second. It's your value. It's not being questioned. It's your value to yourself that's being challenged in now, in this new moon, and in the next 20 years. Okay? It's your resourcefulness coming from within. For some of you that have been decimated with things around you having nothing, everything was torn down. Family, home, job, career, whatever. Y'all just went through it. You just went through it. So this is your building block. This is your stepping stones to get to where you want to be, to have the life. Now that I have my identity as a Capricorn, going through the 16 years, going through that, now that I have that, what do I want my life to look like? It's almost like you have a blank slate, although we don't like to have a blank slate, especially you as a Capricorn. You don't want to have a blank slate because you don't see anything around you, right? But it's like you have a blank slate and you get to create again. You get to create. You get to understand how resourceful you are. You get to understand that even if you have had nothing around you, Aquarians are the master manifestors. You're the master builder. That's what you do. You know how to build. You know how to tear down, but you know how to build. And this is what the second house is being questioned about, or challenged, or trying to understand about, right? So I want you to focus on where you want to head if you have the blank slate. I mean, if you're going to be real with yourself, say, okay, there's nothing around me. Shit's all gone. It's all gone. I've cried over it. I've mulled over it. I've done what I needed to do. Now it's time to build. How do I do that? I have it within me. That's what the second house Pluto does. I have it within me I know there's something in me that I can share with the world that will help me build. And that's kind of what you need to be sort of in the mindset of. But for this new moon, I want you to focus on what direction do you want to go? If you thought about it and got to think of your life of exactly how you wanted it, not how you're going to get it, but how you wanted it, you got to just dream that. Then that's what I want you to focus on, the dream. What is that? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is that? Not how am I going to get it, and not am I even worthy enough to get it, because it works on your worthiness too in the second house. But how does it look? That's all I want to know. That's all this new moon wants to know, because it's the start of a cycle for you. And then Mercury should be bringing you some news about it. Venus is going to show you some things and bring you some gifts of your worthiness. Mars is going to give you the energy and have the opportunities come around you. Then we're going to have Jupiter coming through. We're going to have lots of planets coming through there. But for right now, I just want you to really focus on, if I could just dream and then it would happen, not knowing how it happened, but if I could just think about it, dream about it, know it would happen, how would that look? That's all you need to do in this full moon. I mean, new moon, sorry. If you want a ritual to clear your energy, if you've seen me forever, I have so many videos on this. Do the Epsom salt bath, okay? That will just help you feel better, neutralize your energy. And so you just take a Epsom salt bath for 10 minutes, no less, no more, no less, okay? If you want candles, do that. Like, really, I was going to say, really baby yourself. Really baby yourself. Really cause attention to you. Really give yourself a pat on the back for going through the freaking last 16 years that just destroyed everything. Like, it's been hard. It's been really hard for you, and you've made it. You've done it. And so give yourself a pat on the back. Like, understand you are worthy. Understand you are resourceful. Understand you are um, the master builder, right? Okay. Now, in your third house, um, I'm just going to go over this real quick because it's all connected. But in your third house, you have Saturn and Pisces. So this has been going on for a year where you're honing your skill, basically. You're honing the way that you speak. You're honing the way that you communicate with other people, whether that's like, you guys understand that communication is not just words. It's, the embodiment, journaling, whatever. Like, and things probably haven't been going well in some of the skills of that. You probably had setbacks because you have Saturn there, and Saturn's in the third house. So this could be family related too. It probably is more family related than anything, where you're trying to understand what it is and how it is that you want to have the connection with your family, mainly your siblings, but the connection with your family. But you got about 2 more years with this because Saturn's going to stay here for about another couple of years. And it's like, you can think of it this way. This is in this area of the house. It's the thinking brain every day. It's not the higher mind. It's the everyday thinking. Okay, that's this house for you. And Saturn being there is really restricting it. It's really showing, Daddy. I call him Daddy Saturn because he's prominent in my chart too. But he wants to know that you're responsible for these things, that you're going to take action and do, which you don't really have a problem with, which are you going to take action in the things that you want with your skill? So I see this as honing your skill. I see this as having some setbacks with family. I see this as maybe your mind hasn't been as clear as you really wanted it to be clear, because Pisces is formless and Saturn is form. So Saturn went into a formless state and said, let's form some of this formless, right? So think of it that way. And all that's connected to the value, because as you're honing this, as you're getting better at this, these things are going to help you understand that you are resourceful, that you are valuable, that you are worthy, right? So I will say one last thing. Because this Venus and Mars is in your first house, this is some sort of gift, some sort of thing, some sort of, to me, when those two get together, there's a exciting gift of what you are worthy of, what you feel you're worthy of. The universe feels you're worthy of everything, but what you feel you're worthy of, you could be getting a something physical is going to be here for you, because that's, to me, that's Mars and Venus in the first house. So you should be receiving, and this is, from what I'm gathering when I channel this, it's like, this is something that you have worked on throughout the last 16 years. And this is almost the gift you're giving to yourself for getting through this. So whatever that is for you, that's what I'm getting. Okay, so just remember, focus on the dream. I don't want you to focus on how you're going to get it. You got plenty of time to figure that out, okay? Just focus on the dream. And in the next month or so, opportunities, news, gifts, ways of doing it, but it's going to be different. It's not going to look like a Capricornian way or an Earth sign way. It's going to be very, very out of the box. So If you like, if you know your worthiness, you could have somebody hand you $1 million just because you helped them, 20 years ago or 16 years ago or whatever. Like, I can see that happening, but it's out of the box. It's not like you had to work and struggle, and it's out of the box. It's going to be very different, which is the other reason why I'm doing the Pluto series, because things are going to be very different than they were. Okay, so that is just a little bit of the um, the astrology. So let look at your tarot. So I already pulled the cards, and there's only it's only a 4 card pull, and this one is your foundation. This is the energy that's coming towards you, the path you're taking. Some people like to call it a timeline that you're taking, like jumping timelines or whatever. This is that. This is the energy coming towards you. Okay, and then this is what's holding you back or standing in your way or something that you need to get through, which is interesting because it's the Emperor. And then this is the outcome. Okay, so the first thing you have is the Three of Pentacles. That's where you're at. So I do see for a lot of you, hold on a second. I do see for a lot of you, and I don't know that the camera's picking that up, but only this pentacle is lit up. The other pentacles are not lit up. So you are working in a group. It looks like your foundation is you have the people around you that you want for the most part. There's some of you lagging, and that's why we're doing this last retrograde in Pluto. But you have, over the last 16 years, made your life where you have the people that you want around you. You understand the giving and the taking and the not taking advantage of you anymore, and the you not taking advantage of them, and it's pretty balanced out because it's the three. And so you're in a good place. You're not in the best place. All your dreams haven't come true, but you are in a good, solid place of happiness. I'm trying to think of, like, I'm trying to see if that's the word. Is it happy? Yeah, I guess I would say happy, not joyful, but it's sort of like, it's not neutral in that, well, it's neither way. It's kind of a little bit happy. So I do see that for you. I see that you are better at working with people. Not that you don't know how to work with people. The problem was that you overdid it. They took advantage, and then you got your heart broken and never said anything about it. And to a point of martyrism, to the point of having everything taken from you. And you're no longer in that state. And I'm really, really proud of you, because you guys can get to where you're so self-sacrificing that you don't value you, which is, hello, your second house, right? So that's where you're at right now. Where you're headed and the energy that's coming to you is the Three of Wands. So I feel like for a lot of you, you're finally in that, or the energy that you're calling to you is you're not excited for what's coming next, but you understand that there are things that are coming next that could excite you, but you kind of want to see it. So it's like, see where he's just standing there waiting for his ship to come in? It's almost, well, I just got this. Okay, I finished all that work. What's next? That's what I got. And it's like you're waiting for your ship to come in. And that's sort of the energy of, that's actually where I want the Aquarians to be, in a relaxed state, in a better state of expecting, but not tightening the energy of what's coming next. Does that make sense? So you have your staff that you're holding, so you're ready to take action, you're ready to do the work, you're ready to do that. You have your wisdom, which is the experiences that you have. These two staffs. And you're seeing the water and the flow of life. You guys have come a long way. Now, back in the day when I used to channel through your energy, I knew you had wisdom. I could feel the wisdom. I could feel the um, sort of old soul thing, but I could see that y'all had like a. I know this is gonna sound weird. Y'all had like this film over it, like you wouldn't let it out. And I now that I'm channeling you again, I can see where you've sort of taken that film off of yourself, and the wisdom is pouring out. It's like it's not pouring out. It's like you're standing in it now. Like you see things better. You understand more. But that's the thing is you've always understood. You were always an old soul. You were always responsible. But now I feel where you're standing in it. It's a very different feeling that I'm feeling for you guys. So congratulations. But that's what's coming is like, what's the, you're waiting to see. And that's where you should be because you're at a blank space. You can call whatever, see whatever, like get excited about whatever dream that you have. That's the thing. Once you've lost everything, you get to like you have a blank canvas. So don't just stay in what's happening next. Direct what's happening next, right? By that, I don't mean take steps. I mean dream. I need you to dream. You need to like feel it, dream it. I need you to create. Okay? What's holding you back or what's standing in your way? Or for some people like to say what's blocking them, right? So that's the emperor. So again, I was trying to figure out like why would you have the emperor holding you back? And I feel like it's the old way of doing things. Like the emperor understands that it took a lot of work to become the emperor and he didn't do it himself. Now that is the good part. You understand because after people have betrayed you, I can see where you can be more leery about like I know that I want to do something bigger or am for something bigger, but it's going to take me and others, but I don't freaking trust others because human nature. Oh, so but you're going to need to, I can't even imagine the things that have been taken from y'all, the betrayals and the lies that have happened. Like I can't even imagine, and I'm channeling this so because I'm like I don't want to ask him to do that. That's what I'm saying to my higher self. Like I don't want to ask him to do that because asking you to open that heart again and trust, I'd be like fuck that. Doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I understand what I'm asking, but it's the emperor. But it's also so what's standing in your way could be that you do have to, if you want the life that you want, what you came here to be, to show, to build, is that it's going to take a community. That's Aquarian community, humanitarian. I feel ashamed even having to ask, and I don't know why I'm feeling ashamed, but I'm like, I don't even want to ask that because I know how rotten humans can be, and they are rotten to you. Like, I know there's some good people out there, and I can tell you firsthand that there's good people out there because I've seen it. I've seen it in the last 16 years. I've seen it. I had, as the Aquarian part of me was like, show me why I should do this stuff. Show me why humanity is worth it, right? And I've seen it. I've seen the kindness. I've seen the love. I've seen it. So for you, I don't know if you'll believe me, but I've seen it, and you can have that. You can have good people around you that will not take advantage of you. You can have people around you that you can build with, and it doesn't have to be such hard work for you. Um, and I think that's what's going to be holding you back. That's what's going to be in your way is that you're going to have to try to open up again that part that you shut down over the last 16 years. Okay. Oh, I did not want to ask that. I'm sorry. I don't know why I have such a problem with that, but I did not want to ask that. But I'm channeling. So here's your outcome is the Ace of Pentacles, which that's all what this reading was about. right? Like you're at the start of these phases. You're cycling again into your second house of your value, of your worthiness, of the way that you earn money, the way that you see yourself. Um, and this is all the start. So you've got a lot of starts. That's where you're at. That's your outcome is, and it's a pentacle. So it's not like a Piscean, I don't know, well, I wouldn't say Scorpio, but it's not like a Piscean Libra kind of, oh, I'm going to think about it and then it's going to come about kind of thing. This is actually physicalness that's going to come to you, but it's the beginning of it, it's the start of it. Um, you guys have good things coming for you. You just have to understand your worthiness. And I'm going to do, and I've tried to do my damnedest to give you the words and the expression in my Pluto series so that you get through this trauma and this doesn't have to be such a long cycle. It's going to be harsh. It's going to be hard because they're all deep and they're all trauma and they're all obsession and they're all fear. It's going to bring up every fear you have um, in the second house. But it doesn't have to be a long one. And I do have, as much as I could, give you the steps and help you understand so that it'll click in there and you can get through it easier, faster. Okay. So I hope this helps. You guys have some gifts coming in this next, because this is about the new moon. So you guys have gifts coming. You guys have starts happening. But these are physical, tangible starts. You just have to understand your worthiness. You just have to understand your value. You just have to understand where you're coming from in your position in this earth and how you're going to rebuild. Okay? All right. I hope that helps. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for watching my videos and supporting me even though I wasn't here. Again, I'm going to try to be here full time. So check out those Pluto videos. I will talk to you soon. Bye.